Happy Sunday, guys. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve a flawless, dewy, radiant base for your makeup. So I'm going to show you all the products I use, what order, and any special techniques I use. But you can always do your makeup however you want. For the sake of being fully transparent, I'm just going to show you my skin before makeup. So I don't have perfect skin by any means. I definitely have breakouts, redness, some hyperpigmentation. I'm super fair, so when I get a breakout it can take months to years for the color to fade. So I do have a lot of that going on my face, but I know how to get my makeup to look like my skin is so perfect and filtered. And the first thing I go in with is my Smashbox primer. These are my favorite primers. I've tried different ones and there's a lot of different options that work just fine, but I love these ones. Smashbox gifted me like their whole collection of primers and I honestly love them. This one's the Primerizer Plus Hydrating Primer. And I just pat this all over, well, kind of rub it in. I don't really waste makeup on my forehead because I always have my bangs down. This is a little bit tacky, but not super overly tacky. And this is a brand new product to my routine. This is launching February 3rd in stores and it's already available online. This is the One Size Beauty B12 Base Thinner. You can mix this with your foundation or put it all over for a glow on your skin. It gives you like pearl skin. It looks like this. It's so pretty. I love this. And it's actually a serum too, so it's supposed to give you better skin over time. Like more radiance, more hydration, and improve the look of wrinkles and fine lines. This makes your base so smooth. And you can also mix this in with your foundation to make it more of a skin tint for a lighter, more natural finish that also looks filtered and radiant. So one of my all-time favorite foundations was also gifted to me by Smashbox. This is the Always On foundation in F20N. So I just put this on the back of my hand and I'm going to take a brush. I'm just going to wipe this off because I think it has a little bit of blush on it. I just dip that right into the foundation. I'm going to use my mirror for this. And I just pat this on, starting in the spots that need a little more coverage. And most foundations are really buildable. So you can build them up to whatever coverage you want, or you can go in with concealer afterwards to give yourself additional coverage. So already my skin looks so much more even and dewy, but I want a little more coverage. So I'm going to take another 2 pumps and I'm actually going to pop this on my finger and just put this in the spots that I have more redness. Just patting this in. And this color match for me is so perfect. This foundation doesn't oxidize at all. And I just love the undertones of it. It's not too orange or too pink. It's just honestly beautiful. Look at my base already. It just looks so radiant and even. These products are so good. Next, I'm going to go in with these lifter sticks from Maybelline. These just launched recently and these are supposed to lift and sculpt your skin while also keeping the radiance and dewiness. So I like putting the lighter shade underneath my eye. It's not that much lighter than my foundation, but it just gives me a little extra coverage and brightening under here. And I'll put it here. Kind of imagine making a T on your face, but I'm not going to do my forehead. Next, I like to just take my finger and pat it in. You can also use a beauty blender or any sort of sponge or brush. Just patting it in. I take the sculpting one, so this is the darker shade for me, and it's supposed to look like a sculpted. So it's not going to give you a bronzing effect. This is more so to add shadows to your face and just carve out your face however you want. So I like to do it right underneath my cheekbones and then on my nose. And again, I'm just going to take my finger to blend out my nose. And I am going to take a brush to do this part. So to blend out contour or a cream sculpting product, you kind of want a dense brush. This is from It Cosmetics. I don't know what brush it is, but it's just a dense brush, and then you want to blend it up, because if you blend it down, it's not going to give you a lifted look. It's going to kind of like sag your face. So you definitely want to blend it up. And when you do blush, you want to typically blend it down. So here I'm just going to pat it in, and then I'm making sure I keep this line here. And these just melt into your skin. And I definitely love using a lot of cream products on my skin because it doesn't get cakey, and it just makes your skin still look like skin and so radiant. Everything melts into each other. I don't like layering a ton of powders on top of each other because it can feel super, super heavy. So the next step is honestly my favorite. I love blush, and I'm going to show you multiple different choices of ones that have really treated me right and always look amazing. So the cheapest of the options are these Profusion cream blushes. These are the boba tea blushes. This one's Bestie and then tea-riffic, and these are just super pretty cream blushes, and they just blend so nicely. So those are one option. They aren't going to be the ones I'm using today, but they're definitely the cheapest. Next are the LAWLESS cream blushes. These are the Pinch My Cheek Soft Blur cream blushes. I'm going to show you the colors. So you have Angel. This is a very natural looking one. You have Cherry Pie, which this one's a like bright reddish, orangish pink color. And then you have Starburst, which is more of like a nude orange color. And then I also like the brand new Hot Stick cream blushes from Smashbox. So I have all four of them. This is Ultraviolet. This one's Hi-Fi Heat, Poppy Pick, Pink PNG. These are super, super pigmented, so a little bit goes a long way. Definitely start out lighter, and then you can build these up. I love the colors they came out with. They're very diverse, and there's only 4 shades, but you get an orange, a pink, a red, and a purple, so I think that's really cool. And honestly, my favorite blush right now is from L'Oreal Paris. This is the Lumi blush in Glowy Gold Pink. And this is the one I'm going to be using today. It's like a medium price range. It's not the cheapest, but it's also not the most expensive. It is a drugstore brand. And this just melts into your skin. And it's a beautiful pink shade that has a little bit of those peach tones in it, as well as a like gold sheen. So it just really gives you beautiful, radiant skin. And you can already see how it's kind of shearing out. For my blush, I'm going to be using this Sephora brush. This is the Pro Foundation 64 brush. So you can use this for blush or foundation. I'm honestly not too particular with what brushes I use. I just kind of rotate between them. I just typically use more dense, bigger brushes for blush and contour, fluffy ones for powder, and then smaller brushes are for eyeshadow. Just look how this melted into my skin. I am going to layer it and add a little more because I always like to be super blushed. I kind of start at my cheekbone and then go up into my temples and then blend it towards the middle of my face, but I don't actually touch my nose. So you want to have most of the product starting here and then blend it out. And if it's too heavy for you, you can always take the brush that you used your foundation with and just pat that over the blush, and it'll help diffuse it, or you can add a little more foundation on top just to bring it down a little bit if it's too much for you. I never really have that issue because I don't think there's ever too much blush. My most used setting powder right now is from One Size Beauty. This is the Ultimate Blurring Powder in Translucent. It's a super fine setting powder, and it just locks in cream products like no other. So that's what it looks like. That's probably way too much. A little bit of this really goes a long way, and it gives you a blurring filter-like finish. So I'm just going to pat this fluffy brush in. I think this is a Real Techniques brush. It's really cute. And I'm just going to pat that into my powder and just pat that all over, especially starting where that cream blush was, because I don't like any tackiness to be left on my skin. And this side of my face is already set. I didn't have to dip into more powder or anything. And I feel like you can definitely see the difference. Like just how much more blurred this side looks. And it never looks cakey. It doesn't settle into fine lines. I still have this much powder left in the lid. I'm just gonna pour that back in because I don't need any more. You only have to use a little bit for your entire face, so this container is going to last you a good while. Now I'm going to spray my face. This is a makeup finishing spray. This will help break up any excess powder and just melt everything together so perfectly and make your makeup last all day. This is the Skindinavia, the makeup finishing spray in Bridal, and I like to drench my face. Now I'm going to take that brush I used for my powder and I'm going to pat off any powder that's on here and just take this over that setting spray to help fuse it with all those products I have on my skin and just help make sure this gets into every spot on my face. And this also helps it dry quicker. So I kind of messed up this step. So usually when my skin is still wet from the setting spray, I'll go in with my highlight. And this has been my go-to one lately. This is from Rude Cosmetics. It's the Diamond. Okay. Well, we're still going to use it. It's the Diamond Sparkle Highlight in Pearl. It kind of reminds me of the Fenty How Many Carats one. I'm really sad. I guess I'm not meant to have this. But I'm going to take the product I still have on my fingers. It's a little broken. It's like a super soft, almost putty-like formula. And it's a translucent base. So this is my go-to one when I'm not sure what type of look I'm going to be doing. I'm hoping it's picking up because it's just really, really pretty. I saw a tip that after you spray your face, if you set it again with a luminous setting powder, it also adds to the filtered skin effect. I have these Hourglass powders. It's the ambient lighting powder in Mood Light and then the ambient strobe lighting powder in Incandescent Strobe Light. And I love to take these as like an all over setting powder. So I'm kind of going to mix them together. And I like to start under my eyes first because that's where I want most of the brightness to be. And then I'll just pat these all over my face. You don't need a lot. And it just further blurs your skin and gives you a filtered finish. I know I've said that word so many times, but I started doing this when I was pregnant with my first kid, and people always said that I had such a pregnancy glow, and maybe I did a little bit, but I think this was the main reason I had that glow. That's my whole base routine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I rambled a lot, but there was just so much to talk about, and I just love talking about makeup. I'm gonna show you some close-ups of my skin. I just think it looks so good and blurred and blended, and this is the perfect base for me to do the rest of my makeup and look good and fresh and radiant all day. And as always, I'm Sparkling Jules MUA on all platforms. I mainly post on TikTok, Lemon8, and Instagram, sometimes Threads as well. So just follow me everywhere and comment any future ideas you guys have. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.